Hello and welcome to this week's Firewire show, and in this week I'm going to be calling this the camera build. Now in this week's video I'm going to be using the Canon M50, and you can use this easy setup with any mirrorless or any camera whatsoever. Let's go. So you've got yourself a tripod. Here it is. It's put it in a nice position for you. There it is. Nice position. This is a very nice tripod. It cost me about $30 or $40, and it does come off like a selfie stick, which is really handy when you're moving around, which is really handy if you're out and about, or if you just want to get that perfect shot. So setting up the camera, all you really need is a tripod. It doesn't have to be this one, it could be any tripod. We recommend getting yourself something a bit more sturdy with something with like grips on and stuff, which just makes the setup far more easier. But again, the camera I'm using the tripod I'm using to hold the camera that I'm recording on, I've had for 15-20 years, and that was only £15 or dollars. So take off the cap or the top of the tripod, connect it to your camera. Let's put it on like that. It is always fiddly. Just turn the bottom. I can never do this when I'm put under pressure and being watched. Connect your camera to your tripod there. There it is, a very nice shot of the camera. There it is, the amazing Canon M50. If you want to learn more about that camera, we have lots of videos on this, and that I will do cards that will pop up. One thing I'd recommend is make sure your screen is, if you've got a screen, is facing towards you so you can see what you're doing. So as you can see there, if you press record, you can see on the screen there, which is really, really handy. So make sure your battery's charged. Always have a spare battery. It's a massive power tip. Make sure your camera's exactly you want it. Make sure you take off your camera lens, because that's something I do quite a lot. Stick it over there. Some things you want to think about then when recording indoors is make sure you've got a good light. I would highly recommend at least one floodlight. If you're in a bigger room, you may need a couple. If you're wearing glasses, I would highly recommend having the lights to the side of you. Otherwise, you'll get this glare there. You'll get this really annoying glare, which is really annoying when you're recording your videos. That's something to bear in mind. If you're recording outside, I personally would just recommend just moving the camera around until you get a nice shot. Make sure that the sun is perhaps to the side of you or behind the camera, so it lights up your face really nicely. But I would highly recommend just moving around and just going with it. And you're probably thinking, okay Dave, what about settings, what about ISO, what about all that jazz? But this is the easy camera setup. I just want to show you how easy it is to set up your camera. I would highly recommend external microphone. Most cameras have a clip on the top. You connect it here. Let's just bring down the tripod. There you go. You connect it to the top, and then you'll have a little cap, which I can't find. Phone jack. Make sure your camera has a microphone jack before you buy it, and that's why I highly recommend something like the M50. And make sure you turn on the microphone. That's something I have done in the past plenty of times. Recorded a whole video, forgot to turn on the microphone, and problems. So make sure your microphone's on. Some microphones have settings, so if you're a bit further away you can extend the reach, which is something useful to know. Don't worry too much, because you can play around with that in post, but I usually just put it on sort of normal or +10 if you absolutely must. But again, experiment with how you want the sound, and this is really handy, especially if you're recording outside, so you don't get that annoying wind. So mainly think about your camera, the angle you're using, what light you're using, and if you're filming outside, just be a bear mind of what sounds are going on, where the sun is, or what lights are around, and that sort of jazz. And that is literally you ready to go. Now obviously on this one, to make the lens go, I have to hit a little switch to bring around the lens, but you are literally ready to go, and your lens, your camera is ready. You just put it into video mode and off you go. It is as easy as that. It's not complex. It's not like, oh my god, what settings, blah blah. And I'd highly recommend get used to the equipment you have. That is my massive power tip. Regardless of what camera you use, I personally would recommend don't get the most complex camera in the world. There's too many buttons, and most cameras now, or phones, will literally do most of the hard work for you. So you just aim, press record. As long as you've set up your microphone, got good lighting, you're in front of the camera, off you go. Your tripod is your best friend, and you're ready to film. If you got value from today's video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget to check out our merch.
If you'd like to help our brand and support the channel, why not check out our merch? we've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, and from time to time we add to the list. So go check it out, link in the description. And also if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe this video.